We all think Donald Trump is the wealthiest person as he's inhabited the White House, but what exactly is his actual net worth? Now that's a serious undertaking. Hey Here Luxers, Here Lux Life welcomes you back with yet another trending news video. Donald Trump is a world-renowned personality. He owns the sprawling enterprises, the Trump Organization, that's a private entity, and is not required to publish his financial statements. Are you willing to discover whether he is rich or not, or pretends to be that rich? Let's go ahead and explore it. But before we get into the video, make sure you stay tuned until the end and smash that subscribe button to get subscribed to Here Lux Life. Ready? Here we go. As per the NBC reports in 2015, Trump claimed that he owns over $10 billion US. Trump claims that he owns over $10 billion, but this claim was viewed more as fake than real. As per multiple source estimates, when we put Trump's net worth together, they make a lower value overall. The most cited valuation occurred in the April 2020 edition of Forbes, where it assessed the net worth of Trump to be $2.1 billion. What? Well, yeah. It reflects the primary slide from the $3.1 billion estimated fortune that he had just before the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's explore some of the public disclosures for his net worth. Public disclosure. Notoriously, Trump has refused to publish his tax returns, which determines his income as a complex one, and tax returns don't contain the net worth. Former President Donald Trump accomplished the annual financial disclosure that the United States presidents must submit via the United States Office of Government Ethics. Meanwhile, it's impossible to determine his actual net worth as per his government financial disclosures. The recent exposure was in 2019 and was released in 2020 is listed in broad ranges for his property values. For example, several of his properties were ranked worth $50 million. It's compounded because the estimates are unaudited, self-reported, and clashing with Trump Organization's numbers to local and state tax offices. Here's an estimation report that Forbes did. Estimation by Forbes. When it arrives at the actual net worth of Donald Trump, several approximation outlets like Forbes are the closest. The finance-oriented media doesn't have the brief values of each property that the Trump Organization, now known as Sons Donald Jr. and Eric, owns. However, the team is looking at the stock value and transaction data of businesses to discover where the numbers are now. In April, Forbes estimated Trump's net worth to be $2.1 billion, reflecting the sudden drop due to the pandemic. Even in the pandemic days, Forbes estimated Trump's overall wealth to be $3.1 billion, far lower than what Trump suggested. It's somehow closer to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index that placed Donald Trump's net worth of $2.97 billion. Trump's bulk assets lie in the commercial real estate holdings. He owns a variety of buildings, and here's a breakdown of the recent estimates by Forbes. Commercial real estate's worth $1.2 billion. Most of Trump's wealth is lying to the handful of multi-purpose buildings in Manhattan, comprising the 125,000 square feet of retail real estate in the Midtown district. With the COVID-19 pandemic keeping shoppers at home, these real estate's values has taken an enormous hit. The commercial properties were worth $1.9 billion and are now worth $1.2 billion. Residential real estate's worth $148 million. Donald Trump's real estate comprises 500 residential units throughout the United States. While it's difficult to appraise precision, Forbes lowered its valuation of companies from $235 million to $148 million as per the lower stock price of publicly traded organizations that operate in a similar sector. Hospitality worth $38 million. Times have been challenging for hoteliers worldwide, and the Trump Organization is none other than this. The organization's hospitality holdings, comprising the Trump International Hotel from the White House, are now worth $38 million. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, the projected value was worth $107 million. Hotel licensing and management worth $42 million. When you're famous as former President Donald Trump, you don't need to invest money to make money via real estate. You can either license your last name to source developers who desire to plaster it on their buildings. The Trump Organization now has fewer than 50 licensing and management agreements worldwide. Golf courses worth $217 million. The Trump Organization boasts numerous exclusive and stylish golf course or properties, including Cold Head, New Jersey, and Dubai. While players can hit the links at those courses, the membership program's range here doesn't make it recession-proof. Forbes estimated their combined worth to be $217 million, lowered from $271 million before the COVID-19 pandemic. Other miscellaneous properties worth $295 million. Some of the former president's exclusive clubs boast quite well, despite the economy hobbling along. Dan Alexander of Forbes states that Mar-a-Lago is worth over billionaires' trophy than the operating business, which seems to shield the current downturn effect. Cash worth $160 million. Along the rainy day finances, the former president Donald Trump is not that shabby. The estimated worth calculated by Forbes is approximately $160 million in cash before the COVID-19 pandemic crisis. The property and stock values were beaten up in a year, and the asset class has not lost its value. So because Donald Trump operates a complex and privately owned enterprise, getting the accurate readout on Trump's net worth is all an impossible task. One thing is for sure, that the former president claims his net worth in the pre-coronavirus days is inflated. Forbes' recent analysis comprises his fortune at over $2 billion. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, then you're missing out. Stay tuned for more videos like these. See you guys next time.